We start off with the first one, man.
This-
Tricks to the online retail. I don't know what this stuff is. You like scribbled something in at the last minute.
This
Tricks
is
of online retail.
all right, everybody. Today we are going to talk about what Andrew just said: tricks of online retailers.
One of my pet peeves.
Is it one of your pet
And I'll tell
peeves?
you, one of the biggest things, the reason I even brought this topic up, and I'm sure
You came out of the gate, right?
and I'm
this
sure
morning.
it happened 10 times this week, where somebody comes in with a price from an online retailer.
I gotta get a little closer to you here.
You know,
centered.
when you look on these websites, I don't want to pick
No,
out
don't say them by
anybody
name.
in particular, but it'll show like a silver eagle and it'll say as low as,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And they come in and they want me to match this price
As low as, but they have to
as
click
low
one
as.
step further.
Listen, they want to buy 3 ounces of silver, and the as low as price is for 500
ounces.
You know, and like I tried to explain it to them, they're like, "You don't know what you're talking about. It's right here." And I said, "Listen, it says as low as. You know, if you want to buy 500, maybe we could talk about matching this price, but you know, but everybody does it. It seems to be
They
like
all do it. It's the volume tier pricing. They all do it. AppMex has it. Bullion Exchange.
but it kind of is misleading.
Of course it is.
You know,
it's so whenever I am doing my auctions on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Empire Precious Metals channel, what happens is there's this one site that I use. It's called findbullionprices.com, where you can essentially like go look to see like how much silver eagles are, but they look at the price for all the different. Yes. But the thing is, it's quoting the as low as prices. So you always have to go one step further to see how much it is for just between like 1 and 20, which, you know, volume tier pricing usually always is like 1 through 19, 20 through 100, 100.
Because they come in tubes of 20.
Correct.
You know, all silver anyway.
Right.
But it's funny, I've never had anyone come to me and say, I want to buy 50 of these. Can you match their tier price at this? They always go by the as low as.
Yeah, because they're not
know,
looking further.
Right.
That is one of the things. So those of you that are shopping online, what can help
Stick to
you
your tier.
stick to your tier. But when you see the as low as prices, you'll oftentimes you will see the as low as prices between the different retailers, and you can clearly click on the one that's the cheapest. But again, you know, there might be such a huge difference also in the as low as prices. Like,
And there is.
you could, right, like it might be dollars per coin difference.
Yeah,
like
sure.
you really have to be buying a huge volume to get that low price. The other thing that I know is a trick for some of these retailers is that their spot prices are always different than each
They
other's.
kick it up a little bit.
Always.
Yeah.
So again, without mentioning names of
Yeah,
certain
you know,
companies,
it might-
but one of the largest retailers in our country, they always have like a higher spot price.
You know, that might be their own way of, some of them hedge with the futures market.
Okay.
So sometimes it is a little bit higher, but I've heard stories that, you know, they also do it on the bid side too. They'll, let's say gold's at 2,500, their bid's 2,497. They make a little bit, $3 extra.
Yeah.
Just by lowering the bid a little bit.
Right.
You know, and you don't notice.
Right.
You look at it and you say, oh, they have it at, you know, 2,497. This guy's got it at 2,500. What's the big deal?
What would you recommend to the viewers as the best source for quoting spot price? Kitco?
Kitco's spot. They have the app, the Kitco app that does the spot prices. But, you know, I got a lot of people that come in here, they don't even know what they're looking at. They're looking at futures prices.
Yeah.
And, you know, it'll say, you know, today is September, in parentheses underneath it, it'll say November.
Right.
It's for a 90-day futures contract. You know, and it's a totally different price, always higher.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people, but definitely Kitco. I have a Kitco. Everybody, they lock in with me. I take a screenshot of the Kitco app and send it
to them.
You know,
What
definitely for spot price.
What are there any other tricks or things that you've noticed from some of these online retailers?
Another
I know
funny
one. Go ahead.
the commercial that they always show, they never say a 1 ounce American Gold Eagle. They say, oh, we're going to sell an American Gold Eagle, $275. It's a 1/10 ounce.
Yeah.
But everybody that sees it, they say, oh, they're selling gold eagles for $255 to $275.
Right.
And I try to tell them, so listen, it's only a 1/10 of an ounce. Like, no, you don't know what you're talking about.
Those, and I've done a video too about those online, or I shouldn't say online retailers. Those are actually these companies that are notorious for essentially preying on the elderly. In my opinion, the companies that you see advertising on television, I wouldn't buy from them. A couple of times there have been some offers, and Andrew and I have talked about this before, where they've offered a gold eagle at spot, like a 1 ounce gold eagle at spot. And like a couple of times I was able to take advantage of these deals where they actually worked, even when spot went through the roof. Like they quoted, I think it was something like $1,850, comma, at spot, whatever it was. And then like deal is good until XYZ, like maybe 2 weeks in the future. Maybe a week later, spot went way up. And I called them like, are you still honoring the price? They said, actually, we are. It's like a loss leader. They expect that as soon as you buy it, right, you're a qualified lead, even though that they're selling it maybe at a loss. But now they've got your information and they can hope to sell you the other day. Like I get calls every once in a while where they're like looking to either get me to switch my 401k out of my positions into like a metals IRA or whatever. But again, you could block those calls. You could tell them you're not interested, or you can screw with them a little bit and ask them what they're wearing. And
speaking of
when you're
online
on the phone with
scammers,
them,
I watched some CNBC. They have that crime and money show or whatever.
I love that show, American Greed.
American Greed.
I love that.
They had brothers that were, I believe it was Staten Island. They had a coin. They were online
Coin dealers?
They had like these cold callers calling people. I think it was 3 years. They never delivered one coin to any of their customers. We're just taking
They're just
orders,
taking the
money and promising people. You know what? I got to look and find that episode, man. What a scam. But I remember watching that and saying, man, people must have a real bad taste of like online dealers and cold callers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know some people like that.
How about
funny guys, Tom?
How about pre-sales too? Here's the thing. Like, I don't necessarily think this is like a trick per se. I've done pre-sales where essentially I'm acting as like a middleman order taker, right? You're interested in this particular coin. I'll say, hey, Andrew, I can get that coin for you. It's going to be this cost. Send me the money now. Then I'll place the order. And the benefit for the customer, obviously they're out of their money, and it's going to take whatever, a month to 3 months, 5 months, I don't know, depending on when the mint is releasing that particular product. But most likely they're going to be getting that coin for far less than what it's going to retail for, right? So I've done that before.
But the responsibility's on you.
Responsibility's on me. I took the order, took the payment, I placed the order. I wait for the wholesaler then to fulfill the order. They send it to me, and then I send it to the customer. I don't think ever there's been an issue, maybe once, where I know a couple of times where I've taken orders. I place my order then with the wholesaler. I've taken the money, and then the wholesaler says, oh, you placed an order for 15 of these, but we can only get you 8. So then I just refund the customers. I say, oh,
you do it in any particular order, and you do who you like first.
Combo. Those of you that are watching, if you don't know by now that it's a combo deal, but like it depends. Actually, it's a good question. Sometimes, if there's somebody that's placing a ton of orders with me,
try to keep them happy.
I try to keep them happy. But let's say they ask for 5 of a particular product, and then these 5 people all ask for 1.
Right.
Usually what I'll do is I'll back off some of that guy. Like, look, I could get you 2. I'll get these 3. And then maybe this one person is left out. but then I'll remember that, and then I'll help them out on the next
How
go
long are you
around.
talking? Like, what's the longest you hold something for pre-sale? Months?
There's been, so let's see. Right now, the longest one that's ever, it should be sitting in my UPS box right now, actually. When I went to Puerto Rico in March 2024, I was sitting at the pool placing pre-sale orders. And one of them was for this levitating silver UFO. So it comes with like some sort of stand, but with magnets, it's like hovering.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it glows in the dark too. So I placed a couple orders for that. That was March. So we were talking April, May, June, July, August, September. So 6 months,
Wow.
which is a long time. Sometimes you can't help what these mints do. I remember
you
one
get it when
time.
you get it.
Yeah, one time I placed an order for a really cool product for myself. This was a couple years back. It took 9 months for me to get it. And actually, what was funny is like I kept asking the wholesaler, like, any idea when this thing is coming? Because it was expensive.
And you have to lock in the price when you buy 9 months prior, right? You don't.
So here's the thing too, and we're kind of going off topic,
You're way off topic.
but part of the problem, you know what? Let's talk about that as another thing. We're going to talk about that as another idea.
Skip.
We're going to move that over here. But here's the thing about the tricks thing. Like some of these online retailers, they'll offer products for pre-sale, but because they're such big companies and they're taking a higher volume, this is an assumption. I can't prove this or anything, but you got to imagine they're taking all this money in. They could do so much with that money right off the bat. Yes, they now are obligated to fulfill the order for those customers, but you think about it almost like it's almost like either like a loan from the customers. Like think about like banking. Like you're putting your money in the bank and then the bank has your money and they can use it for whatever they want.
Right.
But then when you come to get your money out of the bank, they have to be able to give you it. So these companies that are doing these pre-sales, like one company in particular, I'm not going to mention their name, but I have a feeling that they are taking pre-sales and then based on the pre-sales, then they are minting the product to, yes, which
I guess makes sense too, somewhat.
right. It's not like shady, but it's
Last thing
like,
you want to do is make a big production. It costs money to make the dyes,
Yes.
get the packaging
And-
correct, you know. And
right.
last thing
Right.
you want to do is make thousands of them, and you only sell a couple hundred. You know?
Right, exactly. So, I saw some of these companies. They came out with a series of a particular themed bar, and they pre-sold the first one, collected the orders, whatever. Second one in this series was was announced. Pre-sale for that went up. They still hadn't shipped or minted the first one yet. Then the third one. And they still haven't even sent the first one. The third one is like, here's the third. I didn't even offer the third to my customers. I'm like, you know what?
We'll see. We'll
Get the
get it
other
when it
two
gets out.
Yeah, get the other two out because you're taking all this money from people and then you're putting the cart before the horse. So to me that's like a little sketchy, you know what I mean? But so for those of you watching who've hung in here this long, I don't know how long we've been going right now, but keep an eye on those as low as prices. Make sure that you're doing like what Andrew says, like you have to click in there and you have to look and see what the actual volume amount that you're buying, that's the actual price for you. Don't go buy the as low as price.
Yeah, 'cause when they do that, they're comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah,
you know,
it's two different things.
You know, any company you look at is going to have. They're not going to match the as low as price.
No.
When you're buying first tier.
Yeah.
You know.
So listen, we have a few more videos that we're going to record after this. What's your website?
Bayshore Bullion Exchange.com.
Mine's EmpirePreciousMetals.com, guys. We will see you next weekend.
Have a good weekend.